Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. I guess Felicia, if you can read the governor's order.
Yes. Can you guys hold on? Sorry. Okay. Due to the governor's recent order, all members of the Recreation and Parks Commission are participating virtually for virtual meetings. Commission members will be muted until asked to be heard. At that time, they can unmute themselves and then state their comments. When a vote is necessary, we will do roll call votes. A commission member will be recognized, state their name and their vote. And then today's meeting will be a public meeting per the notice. Citizens can listen to the meeting if they contact the city manager's office to make the necessary arrangements. And the meeting is also being live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, which can be accessed via the City of WS website. The recording will be available by next Tuesday on the city's YouTube channel. So let me go ahead and do roll. Give me one sec. Sorry. I had some technical difficulties getting into Zoom, so a little behind. Give me just one sec. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. John Gunkel.
Present.
Okay. And Sean Hawkins.
Present.
Michael Green. Okay. Taylor Ansley.
Present.
John France.
Present.
Okay. Bob Hartwell. Bob Hartwell. Okay. George Peterson.
Present.
Okay. Mashika Jefferson. Mashika Jefferson. Okay. Joe Cassidy. Joe Cassidy. Okay. And Michelle Portman reached out and said that she's not going to be with us. So let me see.
And this is Mashika. I just signed on.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Let's see if we had anybody else. Did Joe Cassidy, did you join us? No. Okay, so we have quorum. So we're good to go.
Okay, great. Just looking at the agenda here. Felicia sent out the minutes. I assume you guys have reviewed them. Do we have a motion to approve the October minutes?
I'll move. George.
Thank you, George. Can we get a second?
Second it. I second it.
Thank you, Sean. And then we'll do the roll call vote. John Gunkel.
Approve.
Okay. Sean Hawkins.
Approve.
Taylor Ansley.
Approve.
John France.
Okay, I'm gonna watch those videos.
Okay. George Peterson.
Approve.
Mashika Jefferson.
Approve.
And okay, perfect. The minutes are approved.
Felicia, this is Joe Cassidy. I've hopped on the call.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Approve.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is the Salem Lake naming event. William, did you want to speak to that?
Yes. received a request from Mayor Alan Joins to name the meeting, the event center space at Salem Lake in honor of Virginia K. Newell. She was served on the Board of Aldermen for a number of years. She was the first African-American female that was elected to the Board of Aldermen for the East Ward. There is a greenway that is currently named after her or in honor of her. She recently celebrated her 105th birthday, and we hosted her at the Salem Lake Marina. We did receive an official request from Mayor Alan Joins to name the large meeting room at the Salem Lake Marina in honor of Dr. Newell. I do support this request. It's more often than not, we're recognizing people after they've gone or passed or moved on. She's still an active member of the community here in Winston-Salem. She's 105 years old. I have a lot of respect for her and her accomplishments as a council member and a former alderman. I do support this request and would like to place it in front of the Recreation and Parks Commission for official approval and answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, if there's no questions, do we have a motion to approve naming the Marina room in honor of Dr. Newell?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead, Bill.
I make a motion that we approve the room named after Dr. Virginia Newell.
Okay, and that was Sean, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, John France, I second that.
thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and do our roll call vote. John Gunkel,
Approve.
Sean Hawkins,
Approve.
Taylor Ansley,
Approve.
John France.
Approve.
Okay, thank you. George Peterson,
Approve.
Mashika Jefferson,
Approve.
Joe Cassidy.
Approve.
Okay, great. The motion to approve the naming of the Salem Lake Event Center in honor of former Alderman Virginia K. Newell has been approved and carried.
Okay, great. Thanks, Felicia.
You're welcome.
Before we do the department updates, I do have one, actually two things that I'd like to just mention for a minute.
Sure.
One is we talked about maybe setting up a number of months to meet in person, like maybe 3 or 4 months out of the year and meet in person. That's what we discussed at the last meeting. So
Yes.
I was just going to throw out, if everybody wants to do this, is maybe March, June, September, and December for in-person meetings, unless somebody's got some better months. So that would be 4 meetings a year to meet in person.
Chair, can you go through those months one more time, please?
It was March, June, September, and December.
Okay. With that December, our first in-person meeting would be in March of 2023, or would you be looking to meet in December of 22?
Well, I was thinking March of 2023.
Okay.
If that works out for everybody. Anybody have any other input on that?
This is George. I'm a little torn on making it that specific this early on, only because I don't know about everybody else, but I don't know what my day-to-day is going to be like to be able to be available for meetings in person with that much planning ahead of time. My preference would be more about leaving it until maybe a month beforehand and then deciding whether or not people think they're available. But I wouldn't fight it if that's the way we went.
Well, my thinking on saying this was at least we have like a month that we would know in advance that we would be meeting. I'm just a little bit wary if we just do ad hoc it, we may not, actually do it too much. But, I'm willing to discuss it there. It's up to you guys.
And what we could do too, if you guys are okay with it, we can go ahead and schedule those dates to be determined. And if we find out as it gets closer that a lot of people have conflicts, we can still choose to meet in person if that's something you guys are interested in. To kind of put them as like a soft in-person date.
And then have the possibility of a hybrid option along with the in-person meetings. Is that right?
Yes, we can still do the hybrid as long as there's quorum present at the in-person meeting.
So I could be wrong, but I thought that was only necessary for the meeting to decide to have the in-person, the remote meetings. Is that not the case? Maybe I misunderstood earlier.
I believe, let me see if I can pull.
I believe the way that John Lawson explained it was that we could meet if the meetings are hybrid, the members present would be the only members that would constitute a quorum. If the meeting were full virtual, then all virtual members could be considered to make quorum. But if there was a hybrid meeting, only the persons physically present at the meeting would be counted towards meeting quorum.
Yeah, I guess I just thought that restriction only applied to the meeting that we just had, and that we could make the decision as to how to deal with that further on. But, again, not that big of a deal. I guess maybe I just misunderstood.
For that one, we had to meet in person.
Right.
But I think William's right. I'm trying to find the copy of the actual CARF so I can pull it for you guys. Give me 1 sec.
By the way, I don't want to waylay the meeting with too many details about that. We've already discussed it so much. So whatever everybody wants to do is definitely fine.
Yeah, one thing that we need to keep in mind, even though we may schedule it for a month, and if for some reason it just doesn't work out for at least a quorum, I mean, we can always step back and do a Zoom meeting, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why I'm a little confused on this detail about having to have an in-person quorum if there's a hybrid meeting. To me, I'm not clear on why that would be the case if we're allowed to have a fully remote meeting now, and we had determined that as a board that we could do that. I don't get why then if we decided to have it as an in-person meeting, we would only be able to have a quorum if there were enough people in person. You know what I mean? That would seem like a weird issue with the wording, but whatever is fine. I keep repeating the same thing, so it seems silly for me.
No, it's a great question, George. I think the wording of it is tied into what City Council actually approved as an elected body on how to handle those meetings, and I think that language is in there, and that's why we have to follow those rules. If, for instance, say at the March meeting, if we found that the majority of the commission members could not meet in person in March, the commission does have the option at that point to turn that meeting into a virtual meeting for the sake of handling business, voting on items, et cetera. So I think that flexibility is still there. Although if we are meeting in person, only the members present, based on the language that City Council adopted, will be considered for a quorum.
Okay, so where are we at? Are we going to put some dates down and be flexible, I guess, on how we implement it, or do we not want to do dates? I mean, do we have to vote on this or not? I don't know if this is something we need to vote on. I don't know.
I think that it would be, in terms of planning, it's less strenuous on staff in terms of availability of space or where we could meet. It makes it easier for us if we have those dates in advance, just from me and my staff's point of view.
Sure.
I think, Leah and Greg, and I think you guys would agree. If maybe having 1 or 2 dates in advance, and then maybe you get to that second date, maybe plan out the remaining days. And if, for instance, if the majority, like, we typically don't meet in the month of July, so June would probably be the last time that we'd have an opportunity to get together. There will be there's gonna be a lot of things going on this summer that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of. Make sure that we have the opportunity to invite you to those with enough notice. But we're flexible, Chair. We can handle it. We can make it work either way.
Well, I think it makes sense to have, some planning. As you say, it's easier on you guys in terms of getting everything ready and everything. So, I would be for, throwing out the dates. And if it looks like it doesn't work for whatever reason, we can back up. But at least having something out there is something to shoot for.
Hey, Brother President, Brother Chairman, are we mandated by the council to meet at certain times, or
No.
they will? Okay, that's what I'm on.
We have to meet at least once a month, and so far that date has been the first Tuesday at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, my question was, do we have to meet in person? Are we mandated to meet in person?
No. So at the
By the
November,
council?
no, at the November Recreation and Parks Commission meeting, you all voted that the commission could vote, or
Yeah.
the commission could participate virtually unless they wanted to meet in person. So,
But nobody's mandating that for us to do that. We already voted, to go
Yes.
hybrid, or we could vote, we can go in person. So, the council will not, councilors are not going to mandate anything that they're going to have a special event that they want us to meet in person for, anything like that.
no, it would be up to the commission if they wanted to meet in person.
Okay.
But back to that further question about whether or not, if we did have an in-person meeting, if we had hybrid, if the members who were attending virtually would count towards quorum. It says right here that let's see, sorry. The current remote participation ordinance allows city council as a body to participate remotely, virtually in committee and council meetings during the state of emergency. At other times, individual council members may participate remotely or virtually for very limited reasons: personal illness, disability, that does not affect the member's ability to participate in the meeting, family or other personal injury or emergency, excuse me. Provided a majority of city council or committee members are participating in person. So yes, if we were to meet in person and we were to have some attend virtually, we would still have to have that in-person quorum. Otherwise, it would probably be best for quorum if we just met in person, if we knew ahead of time if not enough members were going to be in person.
Any other
Thank you. That's
thoughts?
all I want.
So,
I'm sorry, John, what was your question? John France?
Oh, I was saying, I would just thank you. I just, I didn't know exactly.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I believe that John Lawson may be joining the meeting here shortly to answer any follow-up questions. I do not believe that it is a requirement. I think at our previous meeting, that's when the commission voted to continue meeting remotely, but there was also a suggestion. I may have even started that conversation of suggesting that we do meet in person, even if we use it for a time to take you on some tours and show you some things that are coming to closures, especially in terms of construction projects, some programs, things that we have upcoming. And so I believe that we have the option you could just meet remotely, or it could be a hybrid. I think where some of the questions are coming from is where how do you constitute a quorum? And it is my understanding that if the meeting were a hybrid, you'd have to have the majority number of members physically present for a quorum. If the entire meeting was planned and held remotely, then all participating members would constitute or would add up to making quorum. But if there are any additional questions, I believe John Lawson may be joining us here in a few minutes, that he can answer any additional questions about that process. But I think the chair was just trying to get a feel for whether or not you want to kind of go ahead and schedule those meetings out so that, it'll reduce the number of conflicts that people have with their schedules, and just kind of how that part of it will be handled. But we're flexible either way.
Yeah, I don't think we need to beat this thing to death, but I'm going to suggest we throw maybe March and June out there for now, and at least we'll get the first 2 months at least on the board, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
All right. And we can, if you want to, we meet in person in March. What we can do is try to pick a location and maybe schedule a drive-by or a tour of a couple of sites that we have available, so that you can kind of get out and see some of the things that we've been working really, really hard on over the past few years.
Sounds good.
John Lawson's connecting now.
Good afternoon, John. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well. John, I think there was some confusion in terms of hybrid meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't mind, could you take maybe a couple of minutes to kind of explain what constitutes a quorum in person, hybrid meetings, and virtually?
Yeah, so I was kind of talking with Angela about this just briefly, because I knew she was on the phone with I think Larry or somebody. When we met last month and discussed this and passed the resolution allowed the commission to continue to meet virtually, to have these sort of Zoom commission meetings. And when you're having a pure virtual meeting, then a quorum for purposes of the commission in terms of being able to actually conduct business and whatnot is a majority of all the commission members. If the meeting is in person and it's marketed or advertised or whatever as being an in-person meeting, then in order to conduct business, there has to be a quorum physically present at whatever the meeting location is. But other commission members can still participate remotely, and the commission can still enact, or pass resolutions or do kind of governance stuff if there's a quorum physically present at whatever the meeting location is, whether it's a rec center or whatever. Now, when there's a hybrid meeting, where some folks are together in a location and some folks are joining from their computer, I would treat that as more of a virtual meeting than an in-person, because this is a hybrid meeting is yeah, to me, I think if there is a quorum present in some, both in person and virtual, I think you're okay. This meeting, I'm assuming the meeting today, was this advertised as being a virtual meeting or an in-person meeting?
Virtual.
So if it was advertised as being virtual, even though there are people together, if it's advertised as being virtual, then a quorum is a majority of the commission in attendance, whether they be on their computer or in a location, whatever that location may be. If that answers the question.
Sounds muddy to me. So what I heard you say is like, if we want a hybrid meeting, this is just a hypothetical. We could call a video and all show up at a rec center, except for one person could log in. Then that would be okay, as long as we advertise it as a Zoom meeting.
See, I think the purpose for advertising the meetings, because they're public meetings. If someone from the public wanted to attend, we have to advertise it in a manner that provides the best opportunity for them to attend those meetings. So if we advertise it virtually, then all of that data is sent out to the city across the large calendars that marketing holds, so that it gives people an opportunity to attend. If we advertise it in person, we would like to make sure that we were serving food, that there's enough there so that they could have a proper meal. We've received special requests for certain types of diets when we're serving meals. So I think it's a matter of trying to determine what's the best way to meet to conduct business, especially if there are items that require votes from the commission. The hybrids are a little different. And so it has to, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but I believe that you have to, based on the advertisement, that's where the numbers that constitute a quorum will come from. That it could.
And I'm not aware, of any other commissions having either the meeting is in person or it's virtual. And the resolution that the council passed and that the commission passed last month allows remote participation. Well, it allows the commission to meet virtually as a entire commission. Everybody can meet from their couches if they wanted to. It also allows for in-person meetings, individual commission members to attend remotely if there's, a reason for their attendance not to be practical. It doesn't really contemplate a hybrid structure. To me, the meeting is either going to be in person or it's going to be virtual. Now, you could certainly have a virtual meeting where folks, maybe you're together, where some folks may decide, hey, let's, if we can meet here at this location, great. But to me, if you're having a hybrid meeting, it's getting muddy. The meeting, frankly, should either be virtual or it should be in person. If it's advertised as being virtual, then that's what it is. And then the quorum is determined by just the number of people there. Is there a majority of the commission members who are logged into the Zoom? Then that would constitute a quorum. If it's in person, but somebody can't extend or they get sick, and it just makes more sense for them to join remotely, than they are allowed to if the meeting is in person. Like if, you're having a quarterly meeting, or you decided to do a meeting at a new rec center that's been renovated or something like that. That to me is not a hybrid meeting. It is an in-person meeting, and it's treated as an in-person meeting. And the ways for calculating a quorum are different. And so it seems to me, you basically just need to pick one or the other.
Right. That makes sense to me. Okay, any other thoughts on that? Any other questions for John? Okay. The other thing I was going to bring up before, William, before you move to the updates, was that the last time I brought the subject up regarding the commissioner's handbook, so to speak, that was still under review. Is that still the case, or can we get an update on that either now or the next meeting?
Yes. So we were waiting because we were waiting to hear about the in-person meetings about that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's why we have it. But yeah, I'll work on piecing that together and I'll send it to John Lawson.
Okay.
So you can take a look at it.
All right. I just didn't want to forget about that. Let that fall through the cracks.
No, yeah,
Okay.
it's on the radar.
All right. Thank you. All right, William, I guess if you want to do the updates.
Yes, I wanted to, John, I appreciate it. John, you're more than welcome to stay as always, but I think the questions that the commission had or have been answered. I really appreciate you chiming in for us.
Yeah, not a problem. And like Felicia said, I can take a look at the handbook and maybe we can put something in there that kind of clarifies, quorum purposes based on the type of meeting that the commission decides to call. That way you guys know ahead of time if you want, whether, if you schedule something in person, if there is a chance that there's not going to be a quorum there, then maybe convert it to a virtual meeting.
Right.
This at least gives you kind of an update or an idea of how many people need to be either logged into Zoom or physically present in the location before, if you guys have heads up or whatever before a scheduled meeting. But I'll make sure that goes in the handbook.
All right. Thank you, John. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You guys have a good day.
Oh, you too.
Bye.
Chair and members of the commission, I'd like to, before we go into departmental updates, do have something that we'd like to share with you that we're very, very happy about. I'm going to turn it over to Josh Billings, who's our GIS administrator, to kind of share some exciting news with you all that I think you're going to be just as happy about as we are. Josh?
Hey, good morning, guys. Over the past several months, we have been working on a mobile app for the department to kind of showcase all of our parks, our amenities, programs, and activities that we have going on. And we're very excited to let you guys know that this app is now available on your app stores to download. So if you go to your app store and search for Winston-Salem Recreation, you'll be able to find this app. I'm going to share my screen with you to show you guys the app. Felicia, can you make me the host?
I think I just did.
For my, okay.
Yeah, on your computer, not the mobile.
Can you do it for my mobile, please?
You might have to.
Or I might have to now.
Yeah, you'll have to do it. I don't have access anymore.
Okay. Okay, so this is the app here. This is the home page. As you can see, we have several buttons here on the front page. We have parks and amenities. We have programs and activities, news and updates. We have a follow us section. We have a rent a shelter section and a my account section. I'm going to take you guys into the parks and amenities section and show you guys here. Everything that we have here is all of every amenity that we have throughout the city. So if you're looking for an athletic field or a basketball court or pickleball courts or tennis courts, anything that you're looking for, trailheads, that's going to be here. I'm going to take you guys into the parks. As this loads, you can kind of see that pictures will pop up. In the top right hand corner, you can see that there is a mileage. And so the cool thing about this app is that it shows you no matter where you are in the city, in the state, in the country, it's going to show you how far you are away from a particular park. And by default, it lists the park or the amenity that's closest to you first. And as it increases, it shows you the rest of the parks of the amenities. If we click on one of these, I'm going to click on Winston Square Park here. It'll take you in here. It's going to give you a little bit information about the park or the amenity specifically. And then at the very bottom, you can see that there is a link that says explore an interactive photo. So if we click on that link, what this will do is pull up a 360 interactive photo. I'm sure you guys have seen these before, but this allows you to kind of pan around, see what's going on inside the park, see if it's something that you want to visit or not, and get more visual information about the park or the amenity itself. If you go back to this screen, you can also see that there is a tap here for directions button below the picture. If you click that, what that's going to do is bring up your Apple Maps or your Google Maps, whichever one you have on your phone, to give you directions directly to that park or to that amenity. So a lot of the times, people will be out at a park and they'll be looking for a particular picnic shelter. Let's say they're at Miller Park and they're looking for shelter number 10. A lot of the times people don't know where that is, but with this app, what you can do is pull that up within picnic shelters, get directions, and it'll take you right there to that particular picnic shelter. You can also see at the top that we have a map option, so you can kind of see how these amenities and parks are spread out throughout the city as well. If we go back to the home page, we can see that we'll go into the programs and activities. This lists most of our programs and activities, kind of gives you a little bit of information about each thing. If you want more information about it, you can click on it and it takes you to our website, which gives you all the information that you'll need for those particular activities. We also have a program calendar that you can click on, keeps you up to date with all of our programs and activities that we have going on in our recreation centers. You can also go to the news and updates to find news and updates. It takes you to our website where most of the big news and updates are listed there. You can also follow us on social media. So we have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, all listed here. If you click on one, it's gonna open up that particular one up for you so that you can see what we have going on and what we're posting. If you want to rent a picnic shelter, if a citizen wants to rent a picnic shelter, all they have to do is click the rent a shelter button. It takes you into our Smart Rec software, which allows a customer to rent a picnic shelter directly from the app. And finally, the My Account, it's also tied to Smart Rec. This allows you to reserve a picnic shelter and also sign up for programs and events as they are posted on to Smart Rec. But like I said, we're really excited about this. This is available now on the app stores. So if you guys want to go ahead and download that, you guys are more than welcome to. I will put a link to a landing page that you guys can go to and click a button, and it might make things a little easier for you. With that being said, does anyone have any questions about the app?
Well, that's really cool. I already downloaded mine as you were talking.
Nice.
Yeah, same, Josh. Great. I was playing around with it here. It looks really great. Really great job.
Thank you.
Sorry, my mic was muted. One of the cool features about the app is that as you're searching for those particular amenities throughout our park system, if we had a particular facility that was closed or if a playground was under renovation and you were to find that playground as one of the ones you wanted to visit, you would see an update right there that says this particular playground is closed and here are the reasons why. So he has the ability to dynamically update facilities as needed that should match up with the information that we have on our website.
That's very cool. Thank you.
As ambassadors to, for the Recreation and Parks Department and being Recreation Parks Commission members, having this information at your fingertips so that you can share that with your colleagues, with your friends, with your family is critically important. So I would welcome you guys to share that with whoever wants to know what's going on in our department. in modern culture nowadays, things are being communicated through social media. So we're going to be we haven't kind of gone out and pushed it very loudly across the city, and all of that's been intentional. One of the things we wanted to make sure is that we had all the bugs worked out. We wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to share that with senior staff in the city. We also wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to share that with you all. Think it's the right thing to do, that you guys have an opportunity to see that first. If there's any feedback that you have, we can kind of go back and make some changes. But we're very, very excited about this, and appreciative of Josh working on this and getting this complete. Josh, you want to kind of show them talk about the link that you posted in the chat as well?
Josh, I think you're muted still.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you. Can you guys see my screen? This is just the link that I posted in the chat. This is just a landing page for the app that allows you to click on whichever store that you want, and it'll take you directly to that store. If you're on Apple, then it'll pull up the Apple App Store directly on your phone, and that way you can download it.
And this is information that we'll be pushing out and starting to kind of ramp up some of the energy we put behind getting that information out to the citizens across our city. But wanted to make sure that you guys had an opportunity to see that, ask any questions. And again, Josh, thank you a lot for getting that accomplished. We kind of started this, I believe the city of Greensboro was working with a group trying to develop an app. Kind of stole their idea. Josh found a way to get this thing done. One of the hardest things it is for us to do as a department is kind of let people know that we are here and that we have services and programs and facilities that are out there for the citizens to enjoy. So this is just going to help us bridge that digital gap that we have across the community and making people aware of what some of the programs and facilities we have to offer. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. If you guys have any feedback or questions or anything about the app, feel free to reach out and I can help.
Awesome. Leo, would you like to go through some departmental updates?
Good afternoon, commission members. How's everybody doing?
Doing great.
Good. So I was just going to go over a couple of things. Felicia, I know you have some of our flyers. Can you pop some of those up for me? While Felicia is getting that up, I'm just going to go over a couple of things that we've done in the past month.
Josh, can you make me the host again so I can share my screen, please?
Don't make me the host because I don't know how to work it. So, October's a busy time of year for us. We love the fall, love the cooler weather. So for Recreation and Parks, we get to go outdoors and do a lot more things. A couple of weeks ago, we hosted our annual Trail of Treats event. As COVID is kind of going away a little bit, hoping it's not going to pop back up. Our outdoor programs and actually all of our programs are starting to increase with attendance. So we had our Trail of Treats event last year. We had about 1,500 people show up for it, and we had about 30 vendors. So if you guys have never been to that event, it is hosted at Bolton. And what we do is along the trail of Bolton Park, we have vendors set up on either side. And ideally, you'd come out in their little costumes and they go down the trail. They get candy and treats from all the vendors, while mom and dad also get information about maybe, we had a tennis group out there. We had childcare resources. We had 30 different vendors that are usually kid friendly, but they're also things that mom and dad might, need to learn about. I think we had an insurance company out there. So very well received. A lot of kids had a lot of candy. I know mom and dad were very happy about that as their kids were on the trail eating all that stuff. So also last week, we had our fall festivals at 5 of our recreation centers. We had great attendance. I think Polo Park sticks out because I know they told me they had about 250 people come through. So really proud of staff and all their efforts. Gonna wait for a couple of the flyers to pop up.
Yeah, Leah, I think he accidentally made you the host.
Oh, no. I don't know how to fix that.
So do you see my name?
I do see your name.
Just click, right click on it and click make host.
Yeah, I'll end up showing all my emails instead of the screen. So you guys, I think last time I tried to take over as a host, I showed everything that you didn't want to know about.
Okay, there we go.
All right, perfect. So the one that we got showing right now is, we were trying to get our youth involved a little bit more to STEAM. And if you guys don't know what STEAM means, is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So we are celebrating National STEAM Day on Tuesday, November 8th at Haynes Hosiery. We encourage people to come out. We'll do fun little activities like we used to do back in school. Like I think they're going to do the volcano and the vinegar and baking powder and watch the explosions. So it's a couple of art activities. We are also acknowledging our veterans on November 10th at William Anderson Center. And actually, Felicia, if you'll go back up a little bit, the name James Gardner, that is actually the name or the individual who the gym is named after at Anderson Center. So they're going to acknowledge him on that day, on November 10th. So we have hired a new supervisor over at Little Creek, and he formerly used to work with the library, I believe, in Florida somewhere. So we're bringing in a new skill set that comes along with this individual. And he is very passionate about doing short stories, a lot of literacy programs for youth and adults. So he's going to start a short story writers group at Little Creek. So if you're a writer, you're into poetry, things of that nature, please come out and visit us. And then, of course, we're bringing back our Thanksgiving drive-in bingo. This has been very popular the past couple of years. This was started back in 2020 when we are now allowed to gather. So what we did is we got, I'm going to say it wrong, but it's like a radio transistor. So we set up in front of one of the picnic shelters and we broadcasted numbers through the radio stations as people sit in their car, and we pass out bingo cards. The cost to play is nominal. The cost to play is just a can of food or a non-perishable item that we donate to the Second Harvest Food Bank. Past couple of years when we've done this event, proud to say that we've donated over 300 pounds of food each time that we've done it. So that's a lot of fun, very family friendly. I love it. Like you'll just see cars of families roll in to play bingo with us. And then, y'all, I can't believe it's November. The holidays are here. So in preparation for our holidays, if you've never been out to Cricket Nest, I encourage you guys to go visit. It is a craft shop for a consignment craft shop for individuals who are 50 years and older. To help finance some of the great things they do, they have craft shows throughout the year. They have a big one coming up this weekend. My goodness, it's November already. It's at the Southport Community Center complex. So I encourage you to go out there, go ahead and get some of your Christmas shopping out of the way. They can do it.
I think that's up for you.
And that rolls into Craig's stuff. A couple other things that we've done, I'll be really brief because I know we're going to run out of time. We have been partnering with Winston-Salem State. They have a sports management program out there. And one of the classes within that is a special event programming class. So we've partnered with them. My special event recreation coordinator is going down once a week to meet with the undergrad students to talk to them about what it entails to program activities and special events. So we're working with them, meeting once a week for 4 weeks. And at the end of those 4 weeks, they're going to actually come on site to one of our recreation centers and host a special event. So they are going to do the National Young Readers Week, which will be on November 14th. So essentially they're going to do a program. They're going to read to our youth and then do like an activity based on what those books were. So that's going to be group A from Winston-Salem State. Group B, what they're going to do is they're going to have the youth write a letter to Santa. So we're very excited about that partnership. Hopefully that's going to be ongoing. We'll get a lot of volunteers from their classes to join us. And that is all I have. Does anybody have any questions about anything I discussed?
All right, Greg, you want to go ahead and go through some of the special events that you have coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. As Leah said, it's a really busy time of the year for us. On your screen is our seasonal crafts with our therapeutic recreation division. We also have Moravian Star. It's a workshop that takes place at Historic Bethabara. The Bethabara have been able to offer the events that we weren't able to during COVID. So we had our was back. Over 17,000 people joined us for that. So phenomenal turnout. It was really great. I'm sorry. I think the internet is questionable here. I'll try and get through as best I can. We have Boo at Bethabara. It's on Saturday with over 1,500 visitors. From an athletics perspective, we have our youth basketball league that's going to be starting last week of the signups, and we have 190 kids sign up already, which is phenomenal. Salem Lakes Nature Camp is back, which is our toddler program, ages 5 and below. If you haven't been to the lake recently, we have a collection of animals, which we call our zoo, in the lobby area. We've got 2 new snakes, so when the kids learn about reptiles, we can offer a very hands-on kinesthetic experience. With the athletics unit as well, you might be aware that pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the United States. So as a result, we've been working with the local pickleball club here, Winston-Salem Pickleball Club. They came out, did a team builder with us on Friday, just so we can get staff interested in playing pickleball, bringing it out to the communities. So as a result, we have 2 groups, one on the Saturday over at Old Town, which is for 18 plus, and then a group on Wednesday, which is for 50 plus. Really good turnout. We get probably about 5 to 10 more every single week we do it. And then that culminates in the Turkey Day Pickleball. This will be the 4th year doing it over at Granville Park. It's on the 19th. You can see the flyer there in front of you. Been very well attended. So we're looking at doing teen pickleball. We're looking at doing some adult stuff. We were very surprised when we were looking at some of the data that a cross section of age ranges play pickleball. It's very, very accessible. If you haven't played, get out there on the court. You'll see it all around town. Obviously, I have several other athletic things. I think there's a dodgeball flyer in there as well, and our softball will resume as well. But that's all I have for you today.
I believe I know Laura is on the call as well. Laura, are there any updates that you would like to share with the commission today?
None that I can think of. Just working on planning some different stuff for next year.
All right, thank you. Chair, that will be the conclusion of our departmental updates. Renata Owens, our park superintendent, is out today. That will conclude our departmental updates. Chair, I'll turn it over back to you.
Okay, so I guess we're finished our agenda outline here. So I guess we're about ready to adjourn. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved. Joe Cassidy.
Okay.
I'll second George Peterson.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. And have a great Turkey Day coming up.
You all have a great rest of your day as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.